Okay, so I'm gonna slow down my Instagram account drastically. I'm gonna post a few pictures here and there and a few videos, but most of my content is now gonna stay in the YouTube realm just for the fact that I just feel like I can get more information out there. The Instagram is really cool, it's really nice. It's got 60-second long videos that kind of show you real quick of snippets of what you're doing. And that's pretty much what I'll do. I'll just edit out a small portion of these videos and show it on Instagram. But YouTube allows me to really speak and kind of talk about what's going on, and that's what I prefer to do. So what I'm doing is, I'm gonna show you today is a simple warm-up that I'm gonna use. I use it fairly often. I mix it up a lot, but I use a lot of the same movements in the warm-ups, or sometimes even variously throughout my workouts. So I'm going to be working out at the fire station today. The way my schedule works for competition coming up, it's best that if I do my weight training days on my shift days, that way all my work on the mats will be done on my off days. And it's been kind of leading towards that, so I'm getting better and better results by keeping all my weighted workouts during those times and using my off days for mat training and other types of working out, which would be more like odd object, like Bulgarian bag, mace work, things like that. Stuff that does work in some conditioning for recovery almost, depending on how I use it, but it also kind of keeps me limber, keeps me mobile, and works on more mobility issues, things like that. Also, when I use a lot of weight training days here at the station, I'm not doing anything else for the rest of the day besides my job, God forbid if something bad happens, but I'm not having to stress about doing a lot of other family stuff, things like that. I'm not trying to get in a workout and a practice on the same day, which things I used to do, but I'm just not a fan of now at my age. I just don't find it's really working very well for me. And I'm going to do whatever I can to continue competing. So I got a competition in Naga coming up soon, so I want to make sure that I'm staying on point and I don't kind of begin to get off track, which is I'm kind of finding as my training ramps up in the gym, I'm noticing my workouts are beginning to slack, which is, you know, understandable, but I'm kind of feeling the repercussions of I don't physically feel right when I'm on the mats rolling. All right, my technique is getting good, my conditioning is good, but I don't feel that I guess you'd say my strength is there like I'm used to. So I'm going to show you some of the warm-ups that I'm going to do. And this is kind of what I use to warm up my hips, because I suffer with a lot of hip issues. Because of grappling, you know, we're always tucked in and things like that. So I'm going to show you some of the things I use. I got a lot of this from, multiple people. Paul Chek, Great Cook, other instructors that I've probably met, they've got them from the same people. So I'm not taking credit for none of it, just basically showing you what I'm doing, all right? I know it's going to be hard to see with my jumpsuit, but I kind of have to wear this when I'm at work. That way, if I do get a call, I can hurry up and get onto the truck and take off to go fight fire and save babies. But otherwise, I don't have time to get fancy pants and some fucking special short shorts and tight shirts for everybody. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna work on tucking my hips and rocking them out. Okay, now I know it might be hard to see because of my black mat that I have and my dark uniform, but what I'm focusing on is really working on that hard tuck and that cat-cow position, all right? And what I'm doing is because I feel that I'm kind of locked up way down there by the sacrum, okay? So I'm not like just going cat-cow and getting started, okay? I'm really taking my time and trying to really see if I can move those lower segments in that lumbar down there and really get that nice arch and that nice flexion. And as I roll in, I'm digging in very softly. I'm trying to make sure that I can get to that point where I can feel my back rounding, like my upper back's rounding. I'm really trying to round my lower back more. But then as I rotate back down, I don't want to just pop back into place. I want to try to really move that segment out as much as I can. And I'm trying to really get my hips to rotate, because what I'm doing is I want to feel that stretch between my butt and my hamstring. Now, you may not feel that, but I have a problem, and a lot of grapplers long term have this tucked butt, this constant wink, okay? So what happens is the psoas begins to get tighter and tighter, and then so this also allows the psoas does get tight, but it's almost like it's lengthened, but what happens is the hamstrings get tight, okay? And so that insertion point really starts getting tight up there on the glute. So that's why I'm trying to work through this really segmented cat-cow position and really get my hips moving, okay? So I do that a few times until I kind of feel it. And I can feel my lower back kind of stretched because I invert a lot, especially when I'm being passed really, really hard, okay? And I can't allow to shift out fast enough, so I'll invert. And of course, I'm bending on my spine at that point, so I want to make sure I have the mobility in that spine. That way, when I'm into that position, I can create some strength into that spine. All right, so another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick with my back leg. I'm going to kick with my heel, though, okay? Now, I don't have a tennis ball today or a lacrosse ball. Keep a ball right here on the inside of your thigh. I'm sorry, between your back and your knee. Squeeze your calf to your hamstring, and I'm going to just drive my heel up to the sky. Now, the key would be to not drop that tennis ball. I don't want to go this, okay? I want to really kick back hard, but not crazy extend to where I lose that ball, all right? And I want to go just kick back as far as I can, and what I'm doing right here is I'm turning on the glute, okay? I'm activating those glutes, all right? So I do think some of the biggest issue that most people suffer when it comes to low back issues that I do credit, Brett Contreras for is having weak glutes. Now, Brett was really great and innovative in showing us how to strengthen our glutes, but Gray Cook was the one who kind of opened me up into realizing that what glute amnesia really was. And so what that was being stuck in a perpetual state to where my butt was winked and I wasn't turning on my glutes, okay? I wasn't using my glutes like I was supposed to. So like when your posterior chain fires, your glute is supposed to turn on. And a lot of times it wasn't turning on. And so what happened is a lot of that strain was moving to my low back. So I do have some low back injuries from time to time, so I'm trying to always constantly correct myself, which is a difficult situation due to the fact that because of the nature of my grappling sport, I'm always reinforcing those bad patterns. So every workout I do, it doesn't matter what it is, even practice, okay? I'll use the same system to try to open up my hips and turn on my glutes to kind of like reactivate and wake up the system so I know, okay, man, I should feel this in my glute, I should feel this in my glutes, this and that, right? And I'm moving more efficiently, all right? So those are the two ones I start with. And the third one that I always incorporate, okay, is I go back, straighten my leg, turn, but I don't turn my body, I'm just turning my leg out and then back in, all right? I don't care what you call them. I'm tired of looking up names for trying to find shit for people. I call them hurdlers, just like you were running and you were hurdling over the hurdler. I go out, bring my leg out and in and back. Kick back, turn, bring my knee out, back, and in, okay? I'm trying to open my hip as much as I can without turning my body. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it from this stance so you can see me. Try not to stare at my bald spot. I know it can be tempting. See how I'm not moving my upper body as much as I can? I'm trying to just get my hip to open up. So I repeat that 10 times on each side, 5 times on each side, multiple times. Sometimes do 2 or 3 rounds, and then move on to the rest of my mobility warm-up. Then into a dynamic warm-up, which would be more of mimicking the sets and reps I may be doing before I begin to add on any load, all right? So go ahead, like and subscribe my channel, I appreciate it. If you want to see the life of a real grappler on how they live functionally through life, dealing with injuries, the type of workouts I do, the type of workouts I incorporate with other grapplers, feel free to like and subscribe and share this. I appreciate it.